focus on, a very common thing, very practical thing. Once you understand, you'll be able to answer any question in your written. And I'll tell you what kind of, what as per uh, international health regulations, or what are the requirements for ship sanitation certificate or ship sanitation exemption certificate, what is the validity and how it helps in granting of free footing, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, as we had done during the course of introduction to law, you know that United Nations has 24 specialized agencies, each designed and developed to do very specific work. And the ones which are related to UNB, International Maritime Organization, with headquarters at London, and International Labour Organization with headquarters at Geneva. And that's a specialized agency of UN that has been in a lot of use for the past more than 1.5 years. That is WHO, World Health Organization, because of the COVID pandemic. Headquarters at Geneva. You know, we do all this in detail in ASM, but since international health regulations are part of your syllabus, because as a main, you know, they come into play that can you or can you not start the cargo work, and when and why. You may be wondering, what am I talking about? Well, let's reach in a logical manner. Now, just to give you an example that you all would have been sailing as second mate, I mean, whichever flag vessel that you may be sailing on or asked to join, or whatever type of vessel asked to join, you have never wondered, that, okay, I am the medical officer on board the ship at second mate, what will be the layout of the medical chest and the sick bay, etc., what all things will have to be there, will that be too much of a burden? No. It is more or less uniform and standardized. And that standardization is achieved by World Health Organization and by something called as Ship Sanitation Guide. International Ship Sanitation Guide, which was earlier first time developed in 1969. The second edition was developed in March 2007, which came into force on 15th of June 2007. And International Ship Sanitation Guide is part of international health regulations. Ship Sanitation Guide is only ship specific. So what all the medical chest of the ship should look like, what are the medical equipment that it should contain, Ship Sanitation Guide. But international health regulation includes the ports as well as the ship and the ship and port interface. It's a very important thing. So we don't have international health regulations on board. We don't require it. So sometimes you'll find the international ship sanitation guide on the ship, and what we are interested in the symptoms and the medication to be given. When to call the port health to inspect the medical chest, and whatever medicine have to be replaced, etc. He does it, gives the bill to the agent makes the payment, agent takes the money from the company. I mean, it is pretty straightforward. We don't have to do it. But it has to be done under the supervision of the second officer. Now, what is the importance of this whole procedure? So when we are talking about international health regulation, IHR, of which International Ship Sanitation Guide, the latest edition in force is 15th of June, we become very specific, and that is what is the involvement of WHO with the world of ships. Now, I'll tell you, what do the international health regulations contain? We on the modern ships have the luxury of the desalination plants on board the ship, which we call the freshwater generator. So that's what we take the water from the sea, desalinate, remove the salt and minerals, filter it, potable water you can drink. But there's still a large number of ships which do not have freshwater generators. That means that we still have to take water from the port. So you may have encountered that experience that maximum before you are connecting the hose into the freshwater filling pipe, you just taste it, yeah, that it is fresh water. That pool is not feeding us with, supplying us with salt water and charging us heavily. We don't take a sample of that water, call the agent, have it tested in the lab and get us the report, green signal, yes, it is good enough for, it is meeting the standards for drinking purposes. Now we start connecting and taking the water. No, we don't do that. Why? Because the international health regulations put the responsibility on every port that has supplied fresh water to any ship, calling that port what is to be the minimum standard to be maintained for drinking fresh water being supplied to the ship. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir.
Then international health regulations also contain, okay, which we do not deal on board the ship. It's a matter of the port. That when the garbage is discharged from the ship to shore facilities, how how the port is supposed to handle the garbage to take it beyond the port limit so that the ship visiting the port do not have to face the unhygienic conditions of the garbage collecting within the vicinity of the port. That is part of international health regulation. Then let's go back to 1978. There was a passenger ship. The 500-600 passengers, they suffered all similar kind of stomach ailment. Nothing life-threatening, but nausea, puking, some diarrhea kind of a thing. And they were immediately disembarked and put in the hospital. Extensive tests that they all were found to be infected with something called as Lagnocaine virus. Now that is a virus which does not enter the body orally through the mouth but through the skin. So then, logically, they were in the cruise ship, all of them. Of course, the company paid for it. So then the health authorities in the port where they were disembarked, they tested the water in the spa and the swimming pool. It was found to be infected by that virus. So उन्होंने उसको swimming वगैरह की, it entered the body through the skin. They got infected. Okay, they were treated 2 days and they were sent home. But the issue was raised that a matter was raised at WHO that we need to amend the IHR, International Health Regulations, and the Ship Sanitation Guide. That just the way we have put the standard for drinking water which is supplied by the port to the ship, we need to put a minimum standard to be followed by the shipping companies that if they are having fresh water in the swimming pool on the large cruise ship, this is the minimum standard of testing before the pool is filled up. So these are the contents of the ship sanitation guide. Now, the most important change which has come in 2007, that before 15th of June 2007, there used to be a D-rating certificate. or deratting exemption certificate, because the definition of unhygienic condition was limited to rodents on the ship. So now they said, we have to expand it. There can be many other insects. We only come across, that rodents and cockroaches. No, we need to expand where on inspection, if found, uh, it can be concluded that the ship is not hygienic or not healthy. So it is to do with sanitation. So the RATIC certificate was replaced by ship sanitation control certificate or ship sanitation control exemption certificate. This is an important thing. This is what you will be writing. And thereafter, I will come to the pre-critique part of it. Let's say the ship is newly built. The port health, where after the sea trial, the ship is an anchor, the port health will come and do the inspection. Obviously, it will be a quick thing because it is newly built. First time, the ship is issued ship sanitation control certificate. Validity 6 months, not a single day more. Be very careful. At the end of 6 months, the captain has to plan in his arrival or her arrival message to the agent that when the port health comes for granting of free critique, we need to renew the control certificate or the exemption certificate or granted an exemption certificate. I'll come into that. So what will happen is agent will inform the port health in normal circumstances when only the port health has to do the free critique, then maybe two people will come. But along with free critique, a new certificate has to be issued. Maybe four people will come. That while the two people are in the captain's cabin checking the maritime declaration of health, etc., the other two people are taking round of the ship, accommodation, superstructure, galley, provision stores, pantry, mess rooms, at random, the cabins, etc. Okay, fine. It is done by the port head. Now the point, listen carefully. When initially the ship sanitation control certificate is issued with a validity of maximum 6 months, if at the end of 6 months, when the port health comes and does an inspection and finds the ship continues to be healthy, that there are no insects, rodents, cockroaches anywhere found, the rat guards are in position, then instead of ship sanitation control certificate, the ship is issued ship sanitation control exemption certificate. Why? What the ship is exempted from? That the ship is healthy, no person with communicable diseases, no insects, cockroaches, rodents, rat guards, everything is fine. They will check the bosun store, mast houses, and your page store, everything in order. The ship is exempted from fumigation. Repeat, the ship is exempted from fumigation. Therefore, the ship is issued ship sanitation exemption certificate. This certificate also valid for 6 months, but in this case, exemption certificate where another port health inspection is not possible It is only the exemption certificate which can get an extension of maximum 30 days, not more than that. You have to be very, very careful. I mean, okay, a master will tell you that along with free pratik, we have applied for an exemption certificate, new certificate. As a mate, you're going to do, okay, tell the boss, square up your four peak stores, after peak stores, page stores, cruise best room, all the catering of all the stores, etc., provision stores has to be top notch. And tell the boss to inspect the cruise cabin ticket, check it at random. Your job is done as a mate. So the point is, the ship continues to sail on ship sanitation control exemption certificate. You can't have both on the ship. Ship sanitation certificate or ship sanitation exemption certificate. No, you'll have one of them. Now, if during the life on board the ship, when the captain has informed the agent in arrival message that exemption certificate has to be renewed, port has come, they find the ship is in a mess, too many rodents even on deck, the provision stores, rat guards are broken, every worst case scenario. By look of it, you're getting an unhygienic condition. They say no problem. The ship has to be fumigated. Of course, they won't do it with cargo on board, or they will say that the cargo has to be, all the hatches have to be sealed. And no ship owner is going to forgive the master and the mate. Why? Because you can't have fumigation with the complement of the ship. The entire complement has to be of the ship has to be put up in a hotel. No P&I club, no insurance coverage. That cost of stay of the complement of the ship in the hotel is coming out of the pocket of your company, the ship owner, and he's going to have sleepless nights because it is not coming cheap. It does not come cheap. So they are going to be after the master and wait. And how does the situation reach the stage that the ship was unhygienic and dirty? It does not happen overnight. What you guys were doing? So then when the ship is, complement is put in the hotel with highly poisonous gases, the entire ship is fumigated. Thereafter, thoroughly ventilated, oxygen level, toxic level, all checked. And then the port health who have hired the fumigation company that, okay, inform the agent, now it is safe for humans to come inside. Then the people come back on the ship. Now, when the fumigation happens, then not the exemption, then again the ship sanitation certificate is issued, maximum validity 6 months. After 6 months, everything fine, exemption certificate. If no fumigation required, throughout the life, the ship is continuing to stay on exemption certificate. Are you with me with regard to this part of the miscellaneous certificate which I held? The IAPP part, I'll be doing it when I'm starting tomorrow or day after. During this week, definitely, with the new batch when I'm doing the Marpol, all the annexes. So, are we clear about IHR and the ship sanitation and the ship sanitation control certificate? Always remember, exemption certificate, ship sanitation certificate cannot be extended more than 6 months. Ship sanitation exemption certificate can be extended up to a maximum of 30 days, not more than that. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir.
Finally, the importance of pre-pratik and importance of Master's Maritime Declaration of Health, which eventually leads to granting of pre-pratik and lowering of the Quebec flag. the most important thing for you as a mate is that you cannot start the cargo work till the time vessel has been granted the free fatigue and the Quebec yellow flag lowered. Are you with me on this most important aspect?
Yes, sir.
You would have faced that as a duty officer when you're waiting for the cargo work to start because the free fatigue has not been granted and on the walkie-talkie captain says, okay, free fatigue granted, lower the Quebec flag, and you note down the time in your notebook, eventually in the deck logbook, because the cargo work cannot start before the granting of free fatigue. If it is taking 2 hours, we wait. As a smart duty officer, as a smart mate tomorrow, you will not ask Captain, can we start the cargo work? Because you should know till the time the free fatigue is granted, you cannot. You just wait for captain's instruction. Point number two, there is something called as Maritime Declaration of Health, which the port health people they come. The format can be different from different ports. A master is supposed to write their side ship stamp. That my ship under my command is absolutely healthy, which means that whatever inoculation applicable required, all the crew under officers, crew under my command, and including myself, it's in place. Everybody is healthy. Everybody healthy does not mean that 4 people have to visit the doctor. No, that is part of the thing. So, master say, okay, everybody's healthy, but they're having a fever or something. And no, we don't mean that. Everybody is healthy. There are no insects, rodents, fireflies, or what, cockroaches anywhere on deck, any of the stores inside the hatches or anywhere inside the superstructure, provision stores, galley, pantry, saloon, cabins, everything. All that is fine. Master signs that Maritime Declaration of Health. The agent is there. He will guide the bus. And the moment the Maritime Declaration of Health submitted by master, because Maritime Declaration of Health is of the ship made and submitted by the master. That is the full form. Okay. So, what that is there, any other questions, formalities, Captain, would we still would like to take a round of that? Yes, sure, before we grant the fruit free fatigue. Please go ahead. We'll call the duty officer, take a round, halfway down. Yeah, okay, we are good. Captain free fatigue granted, a slip is given. It can tell on the mic, on the walkie-talkie, please lower the Quebec yellow flag, the free fatigue is granted. That entry in the logbook at the end of your watch, that logbook is a very important. You have to ensure that the commencement of cargo work is always after that and not before that, because then who knows, it can become one hell of an issue for the ship and the shipping company. So guys, this is what practically and everything I wanted to, like I said here, maritime declaration of health. So having said that, I have completed this. It's 11 o'clock. Can we take an early break till
Sir, I had one
11:30?
question. Sir,
Please go ahead.
sir, this sanitation control certificate and what is the difference between the exemption? Because exemption is only for fumigation. So, what is basic difference between the control and the exemption?
Okay. Forget the word control. I think if you are getting confused with that, call it ship sanitation certificate and ship sanitation exemption. Ship sanitation certificate is issued only after, for an old ship, it's issued after the ship has been fumigated. And the exemption certificate is issued every 6 months that the ship is healthy, hygienic, ship is for another 6 months exempted from fumigation, there's the exemption.
Okay, sir, understood. It's the first ship sanitary control certificate is given after fumigation. Okay.
Just call it ship sanitation certificate, and the second one, ship sanitation exemption certificate. 99.9% of the ships, they continue to sail on ship sanitation exemption certificate. Okay, but let's call it like this.
Yes, sir. I normally I was doing the port paper, so I used to apply for this sanitation control exemption certificate before it expires 6 months.
Exactly. So let's say I think this control word could be causing some confusion, so we can get rid of that. No issue. So read it like this: ship sanitation certificate, ship sanitation exemption certificate. Added extension means every 6 months it is extended. And what you have to keep in mind that both the certificates, whichever the ship may be having, ship can't have either. Ship can't have both of them. Can have either. The validity is fixed, but there is a slight difference. If the ship has been fumigated and issued ship sanitation certificate, validity 6 months, that cannot be extended more than 6 months. The exemption certificate application has to be planned by the captain. Okay, with the agent, that will the port health be granting me exemption certificate? Do the port health have that provision? Start planning 2 or 1.5 months before. At the end of 6 months, okay, take the file, the ship is healthy, hygienic, no insects, etc. The ship is henceforth for another 6 months. For 6 months, it is exempted from, fumigation. You keep sailing like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Bolo.
Sir, when the ship is delivered, so at that time, what kind of certificate is issued? Is it control or this is exemption certificate?
No, that time it is this one. Ship sanitation certificate. मैं पहली बार को वही देंगे.
ओके सर.
तो अच्छा, ये 2 ही बार शिप सैनिटेशन सर्टिफिकेट इशू होता है. एक तो ड्यू डिलीवरी में पहली बार तो वही होगा जो वैलिड मैक्सिमम 6 पर. फिर उसके बाद एग्जेम्पशन हो रहा. कुछ सालों बाद पता चला कि गंदगी है जहाज पे. ओके, no more exemption. The ship has to be fumigated. So second example of issuance of ship sanitation certificate will be कि भाई सब लोग होटल में रहो और fumigation होगा. At the end of fumigation, a new ship sanitation certificate will be issued, validity 6. उसके बाद सब ठीक है तो फिर exemption.
Okay, sir, understood.
Just a sec, guys. Guys, your next lecture is at 11:30. So let's have, instead of 15 minutes, 25-minute break. Let me just check what I have planned for tomorrow. I will start the Law of the Sea Convention, UNCLOS, United Nations Convention of Law of the Sea, and I will take at least 3 lectures starting from tomorrow. And always remember, question number one is almost every time law of the sea. It is my job to prepare you out of 25, 20, 25, one mark is out of 25 is in your pocket. You leave